Sorry about that.
No
Okay, so my history is I've been in this for 30 years, like I said before, and how I got into this business. And my story is my dad's an MD, Southern California, and he was in his time of life where he wanted to make some changes because he was constantly working all day, every day, night call, weekend calls, so forth. So he saw a need for to treat obese patients. So he hired a nurse practitioner, opened up two satellite clinics, and within a year he matched his income. So he decided to sell his primary practice and go full-time into weight loss, open up 4 more, hired some more mid-levels, like a nurse practitioner, and he worked part-time and had them run the clinics. And then when I got out of school, he said, let's put a weight loss practice into your practice. Amazing, I broke even in the first month, and I didn't even know what I was doing. But it was a very common program. It wasn't very in-depth, very detailed. It wasn't very customer-oriented in success for the patient long-term. So I took some of the ideas of chiropractic care, like your report of findings. Based on their weight, I would compile all the services into a package, including counseling. When I did that, business doubled. We went from $40,000 a month up to $80,000 to $100,000 a month in weight loss and got better quality care of patients. So I fine-tuned the system over all these years on every aspect, the trial and errors and everything. And we found out that hormone replacement, and we do all the bioidenticals process on that was always part of weight loss in your thyroid. So it was an easy conversion to able to upsell them into other services. Men's health too. And with pain and with physical med, what I typically do with that of pain management, I let them stay in the, after a couple of weeks, then we talk to them about what, our other services. Because when you get them in the door, you don't want to bombard them with too much. Stay focused on one thing, have them see some success, and then go ahead and say, we got these things for your joints, blah, blah, blah. I had a higher conversion rate on that, just so you know. And then I have multiple clinics, like I said. I've helped over 100 clinics across the country, and we have some clinics that earn over $2 million a year in cash alone in the weight loss business. Now, as you know, deductibles are getting higher. Reimbursements are unpredictable. I'm sure you're aware of that. But they tend to go down every year. You've seen that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, you got to have cash in that business if you want to survive long term. You want to have those multiple sources of revenues coming into your practice and make sure what cash revenues you have coming in are going to be solid and long term with you. If you don't do that, you'll struggle in practice, and in most cases you can eventually go out of business as well. Public demand. As you know, almost every disease out there is related to obesity. 1 every 2 seconds dies of an obesity-related condition that's associated with these diseases. So probably by the time we're done with this talk, well over 1,200 people have already died of an obesity-related problem. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally crazy. I mean, 275 million people have a weight loss problem. And so we want to be here to help them. We want to capture all that. But if you begin to lose weight, a lot of these diseases go away. And out there's a surveys run that people that have the best weight loss results are when they go to see a healthcare practitioner and collaborate with them on their health. They have a higher success rate. There was a stat report ran here in the red that if they go see their healthcare provider, they're going to keep the weight off longer than trying to do it on their own. Now, you got 5% of the people that get on those infomercials that look ripped. You got a small percentage of people that do that. But really, everybody else needs help, guidance. And they need tools in that office to help as well. What is it every year that's #1 resolution? Yeah, weight loss.
Lose weight.
And when you go on Google, what's the demand compared to everything else in the healthcare industry? Weight loss, huge margin. So there's a need and an opening for that. And I work with other doctors, age management doctors as well. I tell them, use this as your primary source to get people in the door, and utilize them for your, for your other services. Because if you can advertise and hit most of the mass, they'll come in the door, let them get the weight loss going, and then disperse them into your other services that you do. Competition location, like I mentioned earlier. We look at competitors only medical weight loss. So when we run an analysis for a lot of doctors, we look at see if they're doing any medical, any appetite suppressants, medical HCG, and the lipotropic injections. Those are our competitors, and there's not a whole lot out there. If I can, Chicago, 2 million, there's 10 of them. I mean, not really. What's that break down to? About 1 clinic per 200,000 population. So there's a huge need for this. Like Dallas, 10 in the northern part of Dallas of 1.2 million. Still a big market. If I was to put chiropractors on here, you'd see them everywhere. One about every half mile or mile, right?
Yep.
Now, return on investment, how the system works is that you got to have somebody with prescription rights that can do this. Eventually, you want to get an MA. I assume you don't have an MA now, right?
I do not now.
Okay. I'll show you how you can condense your employees to make this work, and when you get bigger, then you can expand. Okay? But typically, when you get really big, you want to have an MA in there doing the vitals and the vitamin injections to make it streamline your system. Now, your key component for the success of this business is your consultant. We call them program consultants, but you call them case managers. Now, you have a case manager, right?
Yep.
Okay. And your case manager is your salesperson, right? So their job is to make sure they get all the money. And as we know, those personalities are extremely important in your practice. These salespeople, you got to have, because front desk is to collect, time of service fees, or set appointments, biller's a biller, manager's a manager, and so forth. So you got to have the right fit for that. And we expect them to have a closure rate of about 80% on all the programs that come through the door. Now, quality of care is your weight loss counselor, and that could be anybody in your office that could share this position. Or to start off, your case manager, if they want to start off doing some counseling, they can do that, and we can show them how to do it. So we have a system in place. So everything's about lifestyle changes, accountability, journaling, and you only spend 15 to 20 minutes with them. Now, with these two positions, since this is a cash-based business, we do incentive programs for the consultant because salespeople like incentives. And they like to work off some commissions. So we offer a percentage for packages they can get. Counselors, they're motivated, you can give them a certain amount an hour. We'll give them $1 per person plus 5% on products and 5% to upsell on more services. Does that make sense? So they're both based on production. And if they're busy, you're busy. Now, typically, and let me ask you a question so I know where you stand on this. On the medication, what we use is the oldest medication that's been around and the most safest medication out there, and it works immediately. Is your phentermine, your phendimetrazine, your diethopropion. They're very inexpensive. Are you open to that, or?
I am, yes.
Okay, I had to ask some aren't, and I'll tell you why. Because when you get people in the door, what's the biggest problem people have when they walk into your door to lose weight? What's the two hardest things they try to achieve?
Well, they can't
they
stop eating.
Can't do on their own.
Yeah.
Is willpower they don't have,
Mm-hmm.
and they're tired.
Correct.
So usually when you're coming into your door and they're changing the way they're eating, they get hungry and they get tired, and they're not going to stick on that program very long. Well, if you can nip that in the butt in 24 hours, they're your best friend, and they're going to come back because, wow, you just curbed their appetite, and you're giving them vitamin injections for energy. So they feel good, and they'll go through. And then what you do is when they get towards their goal weight, then you just, you're training them how to detox, how to eat correctly, and the whole thought process. So you're getting through that whole process, and guess the beauty of this thing is, you're getting them off all those other meds that are worse, like your statin drugs, high blood pressure medicine, any kind of heart disease medicine, any of your antidepressants, all that kind of stuff, because out of all of this, this is the least problem. This one, it's been around long enough. We don't even use any of the new stuff because they're so unpredictable, and we don't like them, and they're very expensive. So, and we do use it a lot. And then if you need to, we have compounded versions that you can write a prescription. And why on prescription basis in most cases? Because they got to come back to you to get it instead of going to the store to buy it.
Okay.
Now, some people that don't want to do the phentermine, we have weight loss products that are FDA approved, that done research on. It's called Apitrim, that can be utilized as well. And then, of course, you got your medical HCG, counseling lab work, and your lipotropic. So what the consultant will do is combine all of these into packages for you. based on their weight, like a report of findings. But you know what the
Sure.
beauty thing of the consulting part versus you do report of findings, right?
Correct.
You don't get cash from them at the first visit. It's typically maybe the second or third.
We get payment for the first day.
Okay, but do you get paid for the whole package on the first day, or do you have to take them through?
No, that's usually the second.
Yeah. So, and sometimes it's hard to get it out of them. You can show them everything, but sometimes it is. What's so interesting is I've done the report findings and I've done consulting for weight loss. In 45 minutes, you'll get cash out of women. Even though you know it's a health problem, but what do women think? Cosmetic problem. They don't look good. They want to get rid of it. They see themselves in the mirror every day. So they're willing to pay up front. You don't have to explain too much, go through a whole process to get cash. Isn't that funny? Even though their spine's a lot more important than their weight, in most cases they're both important, they see a value with their weight. So you get more people paying for it. Now, weight loss counselor, I'll briefly run through we train them on all of this. Low glycemic. If you have a diet program, and this is not your HCG. HCG, we know it's a strict diet, but just lifestyle. We do low glycemics, train on all organic foods, healthy foods, and so forth. But if you like the paleo diet or Mediterranean or the South Beach or whatever, you can always plug it into this part. But for the general part, and most conferences I've attended, that's the most popular one most doctors do and most dietitians. And then you got meal plans as an option. They measure them, they monitor them on a weekly basis. But they're held accountable. They journal. They have to journal every week, and they're held accountable to it. That's why they're so successful. Your B vitamin injections also include your L-carnitine. So you got your B for digestion and energy, your MIC to multiply the fat in the body process through the liver, and your L-carnitine through the bloodstream of breaking down fat. People feel results on this, and this is safe for patients. We utilize, after their program, we'll use the injections as a maintenance process. And revenue, you can really build a lot of revenue off the injections long term. And your metabolic panel is, here your standard bariatrics panel is your metabolic lipid CBC. We typically do that. TSH we will put into another thyroid panel for another service of hormone. But usually my cost is $10 for all of that. I have a national account with LabCorp. I'll pass that on, and you keep all the profits. And we just pass on those to you. Okay? So just additional way to revenue. And we have 3 systems of packaging that we do. The line is your standard, lose 1 to 3 pounds a week, and that's with your appetite suppressants. Okay? And then your HCG, well, let me say this. Your lifestyle is your visits with the doctor, appetite suppressants, the vitamin injections, counseling, and lab work. That's your package. Based on anywhere from 20 pounds to 100 plus, the programs are cost $650 to $5,000. Now your fast track is your HCG. Now doing the homeopathics, what was your rate with people after they were done with your program, they went home? How many of them gained the weight back, do you know of, or they kept it off?
Oh, probably 50%.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, with this program, you'll have a lot higher program. It's what we do. Because, in most cases, they don't know how to eat when they go home after they get off 500 calories. So we say, first, it's mandatory to do counseling. And then you're going to fall back on the appetite suppressants for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. And if they're extremely obese, they can roll back into the HCG. Okay? But we always have them end up on the lifestyle program because we want them to lose the rest of the weight slower and healthier, and then they have more of a chance of keeping it off long term. Okay? And then they have the vitamin injections for the energy part. Very popular program. Works extremely well, very successful. And then lipo, do you have a lipolaser machine?
I do not.
Okay. When you're ready to do that, let me know, because that'll generate another source of revenue, also another source of more patients through the door, and I can tell you where you can get a machine for a decent price, and then you can combo those either with HCG or the appetite suppressants. Okay? You don't have to have it now, but later on when you generate some revenue, then I'll tell you where to get a machine, and then you can start pounding on that. Okay? Now our marketing, typically, I'm going to put just a soft number of new patients. I'm going to say 15 a week. off all these type of advertising. The big thing right now is social media. We launched a national social media for all our clients, and they got to pay for it, but the cost is almost 70% cheaper than if you were to do it on your own for weight loss, stem cell, or you're not doing stem cell yet, correct?
No, we're going to add that like November.
Okay, and then I'm sure, and then there's marketing techniques, they'll train you on that. And social media, because, some of the organizations I work with, it's $3,000 to do social media for stem cell. Okay, not bad because your return's really good. Well, with weight loss, it's $1,000 because we work off volume of clinics doing the same thing, so our cost we get down to $1,000, and I'd highly recommend doing that with us when you get going. And
Right.
Your turnaround, it doesn't take 3 months to build it because you'll be plugged right into a system that's already working. So you'll start seeing leads fast. Worth the money investments. And then I would do radio if it's very affordable in your area. That's highly effectable. And then we give you seasonal ads for weight loss. There is downtime typically in August, slows down a little bit in December, and then it picks up for the rest of the year, but we'll tell you how to get those patients into the seasons, and we'll guide you all the way through that. We have websites, turnkey cash-based websites for weight loss. We do aesthetics, we do PRP, we do a lot of other things in our office. And then you'll automatically be put on a national directory website for, people want to come to your location, okay? And then Groupon, I can show you how to use Groupon for freebies. If you're familiar with Groupon, you don't have as high closure rate, but it gets people in the door. And if you want to do lunch and learns, corporate lunches, we'll show you how to do that. And internal referrals, direct mail, and signage. All this process will teach you and guide you through this whole system. And you'll get patients. I get about 140 new patients a month in weight loss down here. I've been around for a while, and 50% of them are referrals to 60. These are common ads, old ads, print ads, but I put this here for a reason, because there's call to action questions in here, and you're familiar with them. With marketing and stuff, you got to have stuff that are going to make them call. And usually, you want to make sure you put medical in front of weight loss, because psychologically, population thinks out there, wow, the medical doctors know a lot about weight loss, but in reality, they don't. Because who knows more than doctors when it comes to nutrition and weight loss?
Well, we do.
We do. Yeah, of course we do. But the population doesn't understand that. And so it's funny. If you put medical, they think they know everything, and they don't. So it's good they're coming to your office, and this is a good lead puller. And then we have $99 for, it's kind of a lost leader to get them in the door, but you never sell it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of call to actions in here that we can go through. And we have a national database for all before and after pictures that you can use. Now, how the flow typically works is they come in on an ad for a free questionnaire or a free consultation. They fill out a questionnaire, no paperwork for the doctor yet. They sit down with your program, your case manager, for a good 30 to 40 minutes, go over their needs and wants, and then they commit them to a program. So, for example, if somebody needs to lose 40 pounds, it takes 14 weeks to do it. It's going to take 4 doctor visits, 4 NP visits, 32 lipotropic injections, 14 counseling sessions, and blood work. It's going to cost you $1,500. I'm going to give you a discount if you pay in full. They pay in full, so they get, then a service agreement comes together to keep them commitment on that level. Okay, and then they pay vitals. Now, as you know this, they pay up front. They want to walk home with something that day, so they feel like they got something for their money. So they want to see the doctor, the nurse practitioner. They they sign off on the lipotropic injections, and they typically will give the appetite suppressants for 2 weeks. HCG will wait till the blood work comes back. So we have a system for that, but at least they'll get something out the door. And then, of course, all you do is set them up for the next visit with the doctor, counselor weekly, and the counselor spends 15 or 20 minutes with them, not a whole lot of time. And then they just come in, pop in for a shot. There's no appointment needed. If you stick with this program and do it right, you'll see you'll get anywhere from 300 to 800 people coming through that door for the injections, which will generate you $40,000 a month alone. And that's when MA is just giving shots and signing it off. But, of course, the doctor has to approve it first. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of companies out there, and you've probably been to a lot of these conferences where these exhibit halls in like Ideal Protein or a lot of these other product lines said, oh, we're going to show you how to do business if you do our products. Okay, I've seen them all. Profit margins aren't big in product-driven businesses. So if you focus on the business to be a lot of weight, while a lot of product-driven, you're not. It never lasts very long with a lot of these clinics because they have to put a lot of time in it to really make a profit. I just want to distinct saying products are good, use them, but let the counselor promote them. Do not start with them. Because sometimes I have other people looking at products to start their business. We don't want that because we want to make sure you're starting your cost with medical services because your margins are huge. Because what state are you in?
Iowa.
I think it's Iowa. Okay, and I don't know the laws in Iowa. And honestly, I don't have anybody in Iowa. That's one state I don't. So I don't even know what the laws are there, but I can find out. Okay. If you have to write scripts for the appetite suppressants or if you can dispense them on site. It's funny, I got clinics in practically every state but Iowa and Mississippi and Louisiana because Mississippi does not allow any kind of medical weight loss, and that's why they're the fattest state in the, or the most obese state in the country. Louisiana has strict laws. We have some in Ohio and Indiana, but we have to modify things there. But I'm curious. I'm going to find out, and I'll shoot you the information when I get it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So if you can dispense this, the medication, I set you up with a wholesaler where you get them dirt cheap, like a month's worth of $3 for 30 pills. Okay. Yeah. Over 14 weeks, roughly $17.50. So I mean, I'm not building in your labor cost and all this stuff. I'm just saying hard cost alone, cheap. And then if you do, your counseling sessions. Of course, there's no, it's labor cost. Now your lipotropic injections or your HCG cost us $1.50. You sell them for $20. If you sell them in package deals, 24. We sell them for 15 or 14. So I mean, your margins are massive in these injections. And then lab work, our cost is 10. You can mark it up higher than 55, but that's our standard fee for lab work.
Okay.
So you got huge margins in your services and allow your products to be pushed through your counselor. Now your margins, typically, people, I'm sure you agree with me, but most people can afford to get $1,000 cash together, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Maybe, if they can't pay for a whole program, they can put something down, right?
Yes. So
like, for example, if a program costs $1,000 or $3,000, we always want to make sure we want to get it all up front, the consultant, but they get about $1,000, but most of them usually can put $1,000 into it, and then we'll put everything on an auto debit for the rest into your office. But usually if they can put $1,000 down one patient, your overhead expense in the established practice is about $75, and that includes that includes your additional people that you have to hire, and marketing. You want to spend some money in marketing to get them in the door. And that includes your medical supplies, which is not very much supplies that you'll need to get going. So your cost and overhead comparison is pretty big. Now I'm setting the stage here to show you how your return on your investment is. And first I'll tell you about the investment. Now somebody spends, I put about $8,000 in there because just in case somebody says, well, I want to hire an extra counselor, and I have to hire a consultant. Because I deal with some medical clinics too, and they usually have to hire those two people. And I want to really spend $5,000 to $7,000. I'm just kind of showing you the worst case scenario.
Sure.
Where they really want to launch this thing hard. Usually they'll put $8,000 in their investment. Okay. But a lot of clinics can do for about $4,000 to $3,000. Okay. Because you have your own staff. Chiropractors are more flexible. They know how to work it. But where your investment's going to go into is just marketing to get more people in the door quicker. So anyway, say you got 15 patients that you call a week that respond to your ads, and that's a low number, but let's say 15. 12 book, 10 show, and 8 of those buy a program for around $1,000. So if you get 8 people in the first week buying, you can push it for $1,000. You got $8,000 that first month, you broke even. In new practices, it usually takes 28 days from ground up. I can get a lot of clinics to break even in still in the first month. I have 3 clinics. That's what I did with all of them. Broke even in 20 days on that. Because it's a key component, those case managers generating that cash flow to get them in the door. We'll train your case manager on how to do that. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
you're not sure, just ask me questions. And then typically, if you do the system consistently, you'll generate a solid growth income. This is a graph of us, other clinics, and our other 2 clinics we opened up over a year ago. This is the graph. This is the growth rates are going on here. Now I'm going to show you an example of a clinic that was opened in Washington. And this is how many leads. If you look at the bottom right, it's 93 leads that called. And we did radio, we did print, and we started getting referrals after the first 2 weeks. Newspaper, we got 93 in that one of those areas. And this was a new clinic, ground up. 22,000 in the first month. 33, 22, but you can see where it hit on their 5th month, 60,000. So if you take an average, it's around 40,000. And that's not bad cash revenue. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, we have full-term websites. I'm not going to touch much in this. We customize. If you want a website for weight loss, cash services, hormones, low T, all that, we do it. We have, and I could show you what, you can always go to my website and see what it looks like. National Directory will be putting you on that as well. We'll be blogging. Your location will be there. And what social media will do, you'll get local clients too, but it will push up the national website where people are looking. They'll redirect it to your location on here too. Your journal app, we have a journal app too for your counselor when you get up and busy. So all the journaling, accountability can be done through a website on your phones where the patient could be, tips on exercise, recipes, and so forth. And this becomes part of the program. Okay.
Okay.
And then your labs, our discount, so you can earn another $10,000 a month just in your margins on your hormones or weight loss. If you choose to, in hormones, let's say if you choose to do it. Do you have an interest into that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. But I'd recommend get the weight loss up and running, get that comfortable, get it regenerating, and then we'll show you how to just do the rest of it. Okay? Yeah. Get that rolling. Because hormones not a big producer, but if you got people in the door that need it, why not do it?
Yeah.
And then we can train. Most of the training will be coming to the nurse practitioner on that. And if you have an EMR system, good. But we do a lot of startup clinics, and we have EMR systems in place. What I like about this one, it's a flat rate, no hidden cost, and it integrates with QuickBooks and the merchant service, so you can do it all in one system.
Mm-hmm.
Training services, what we have here is how it works. You say, okay, let's roll. We are going to give you access to our client portal on the website. There'll be videos there for each physician. There's typically an exit quiz form so we know how much they've learned. And this all is directed by a trainer that you'll be set up with. You'll get a box in 2 days with all the content material in the USB drive. And she's going to get you and help you get every physician trained. She's going to help you with the marketing. She's going to help with getting you set up with all the vendors and LabCorp and all the suppliers in the compounding pharmacies. And there's rules and regulations with the compounding pharmacy. We work with the national ones where practically all your states can do them in-office use instead of patient-specific, which will save you a lot of time and man-hours. So we'll set you up with everything you need to get launched on there. Okay. And then, for the provider emails, calls for your NP, they'll get everything they need. Typically, it's one call with the provider, and everything else for them is through their emails. If they have a question about a patient, she can shoot the email, and she'll get a question back within 24 hours on that. Okay? And then as far as, and another thing is really important for long-term success and growth is, well, I'll tell you about mystery calls, but your monthly stat reports. And I'm sure you run these reports because you want to know how well, and I'm sure you're going to, on how well your case manager is going to do. Because you want that case manager to produce for you, and we want them to. At least 80% of patients got to do something, and at least put 1,000 into the business or more, or into their care. That's what I'm saying. So, very important. The mystery calls means that if you're spending the money and you're getting the calls, why are they not booking? And then you email us, say, hey, listen, can you do a mystery shop to my clinic? and we'll get one of our employees to call the patient, and then we'll report back to you because we want them to follow the script. Okay? And then we do live WebExing in all the positions on sales, on marketing, tips and tricks on there. Okay? And I'll tell you, the most successful businesses, and I'll tell you, if you're doing this for years, the ones, and I wish I could say every clinic is extremely successful, but that's not the case. It's like your patients. Are they all 100% where you want them? Are they compliant? Is all your patients compliant and follow through with what you say?
No.
Now, but in my business, I get the same thing, with clinics or doctors, and I deal with a variety of them. So you get a percentage of them that just don't follow through. And those that do very well. The ones that ask the most questions do very well. Even though you'll get the content in the training process, there's still little things, connecting A to B, little odds and ends. Well, what about this and that? Because if we put everything in a book, it's going to be too thick, and then you're going to go, oh my gosh. But we put the standard systems in place, and then you email and communicate with the trainer and talk to them. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, wire services, we do all three for the same price. We help you train, get the weight loss off the ground, then get into men's health and hormones, and get that going. Because I'll tell you what, you will, here it says in the bottom, you will have up to a 90% success rate, and I'll tell you why. Like chiropractors, you are just probably doing homeopathics or products, okay? Homeopathics works great, but you got not everybody that wants to do HCG. You got some people that would rather do another way and not be on a 500-calorie strict diet. So, and you can't really do vitamin injections. You can't do prescription appetite suppressants. And yeah, you can do some counseling sessions, but you got part of the system. Now, could you do thyroid? You could supplementate that. Yeah, that works. But why not do the compounded version, which is also natural, that's highly effective, and do the hormone balancing? And we'll work on their cortisols and their adrenal glands. And that's why we get up to 90% success rate, due to the fact we have all the tools out there. A lot of your clinics, not your clinics, but just anybody doing weight loss has a little bit here and there. They don't have it all. That's why you have a higher success rate. And this is more of a staff-driven business. It's not a procedure-based business. So your doctor sees them for 15 minutes every month, which in return they can see 30 or 40 people a day and not be exhausted, where you got your staff doing it. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. And typically, as you know, why reinvent the wheel? Is you're going to spend more time, errors, and stress, and struggle. Will you go through our system and have a little bit of stress? Definitely. Because it's a new system to you. But if you did it on your own, you would have a lot more stress, and you'd be spending a lot more time to try to figure it out and spending a lot more money. So we don't want that to happen. We want you to have great quality care for your patients, and eventually you have to have some free time in your time so you can go do more things that you really want to do down the road. And I'm an example, and there's other clinics that do this, and I'm going to want you to come to and book it out. Come to our seminar November 4th and 5th if you can, to our office. Come out. If you sign up before then, you can come out on on-site training 2 days before, walk through the process live with our patients and clients, see it, and then walk right into our seminar. You're going to hear from 3 or 4 different doctors doing the program. They're training on physicians and top managers, and you just pick their brain. And then you see the whole system. So 2 things. You can sign up and get going right before that, or you can come right before and just see and ask questions and see how our system, how our training's done too. So we got one coming in here, and I'll send you information on it, on our seminar, on how the system works and how these doctors are doing over $100,000 a month in weight loss. Okay?
Yep.
So the thing is, you know how it works. Obesity is big. They come through your door and you're not treating them, somebody else will. So it's not a matter of when you're going to do it and if. So let's get started today. I'll sign you up right now. I'm not joking at the end, but when you're ready. Now, do you have any questions so far?
No, I don't.
Okay. Now, I want to make sure all your questions and answer any doubts that you may have. I want to answer those.
Where are you located?
I'm located in Boise, Idaho.
Okay. Why the heck is everybody in Idaho?
It's God's country. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, that's what Iowa is.
But I said it first. You know, it's a nice place. It's family oriented. It's not very populated. My town, there's about, you know, with all the surrounding cities, 500,000 population. It's just nice, easy going.
Yeah.
Not too big, not too small, and the weather's nice.
Mine with the surrounding area is about 30,000.
30,000?
Yeah.
Okay, and that, how many mile radius is that?
No, I'm gonna say 10.
10? Okay, well, I tell you, this business you'll pull from far. We get people coming to us that drive 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
You will.
And I don't worry about that. Yeah, because I know.
Yeah. So now you want to know about the pricing?
Sure.
Do you know where to stand on that, so you can mentally put that into your budget?
Yep.
Okay. Can you see this screen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can enlarge it a little bit. Now we have different programs here, as you can see. We train everything in medical weight loss, hormone replacement, low T. We will design everything for you. You just give us the name. You know, what's the name of your clinic now?
James Healthcare and Associates.
Oh, Premier Healthcare?
James.
You could probably do, what's that?
James Healthcare and Associates.
Okay, Healthcare Associates. You could probably do healthcare and medical weight loss. You know, just add on to that.
Yeah.
Just giving you ideas. If you want to throw medical out there with your name, and you could probably do it as a DBA or just different. I'll give you an example. My main name is Healthy Habits. So I do Healthy Habits Business Consultants for the consulting business. And I have Healthy Habits Wellness Clinic for my clinics. When I advertise Healthy Habits Medical Weight Loss. That
Okay.
make sense?
Yep.
That's how I would do it. And then we can design brochures, templates, print, banners for you for all of that.
Okay.
Okay. Now you'll get all these services, and for AMI clients, we're doing. You know, I'm new to you, got your organization. I'm doing half off on the startup cost.
Okay.
Okay, and then it's $1,000 a month. And I'll send this to you because let me write this down. I'm gonna send to you when I get the Iowa laws on medication and injections. I'll send that to you, the price sheet, and the seminar coming up.
Okay.
I'll send those to you. Okay. The second one, your gold, is where we do the website with it.
Okay.
The whole configuration, design. A lot of our clients do that because it's just turnkey, and then social media will plug right into that. Now, if you don't have our website, you can still do social media. It's just easier for the organization. Because the group that I contract with knows weight loss. They do our social media, and they have a contract with Groupon to do Groupon deals for you. So they do it. They can do it all, so you don't have to go out to different places on there. Okay. But you're familiar with Groupon, right?
Yeah, but we don't have that where I'm at. That's how small we are.
Oh, okay. Well, you can always talk to that company and find out what they do.
Yeah.
If they can do anything. And then the fourth one, our platinum, is with the EMR system. So really our most popular ones tend to be the gold one because of the website. If not, you can do the silver, which without, so you get those options. Now these payments go for 24 months, because we're going to show you how to build a good business in this.
Okay.
And thereafter, you know, the ongoing support, training, seminars, you know, you'll still be linked into our website. Anytime we update anything, you're going to get it. We just have a licensing fee of $3.99 because I do copyright my systems.
Okay.
My structure. Now, I can't copyright the HCG system, Dr. Seaman protocol, but just our systems, like our how we package it and all that kind of stuff. You know, because we want to work with you as long as possible to be very successful. Our goal is for that to happen. Yeah, that's our goal. We wouldn't be here if we didn't help people become successful in this business.
Absolutely.
Okay. So your game plan is, well, how does that look to you? Got any questions on that?
No, that looks fine. As far as the EMR, I mean, we have our own, you know, we have our own EMR, so.
Right. And most people do, but if you ever want to look into it, email, say, hey, I want to know about it, because you can always do that anytime you want. It doesn't have to be off the bat. Like I said, all the new startup clinics that aren't chiropractors or that are doctors or want to just do this, then they'll do it. So it's typically them. But if you do, then we'll set you up with the company for a demo on that.
Okay, and then if I decide to add, open another clinic.
Another clinic, it's half the cost. It's $500 a month.
Okay.
Half down, half monthly payments.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because I have some of them that do multiple clinics, and what they'll do is they'll buy one website, because that one website will cover all the clinics.
Yeah.
And then I got a couple clinics that do that. Okay. So I would say I'm going to give you this information. We can, and I've answered all your questions, and I'm going to try to see you in Orlando. Did you want to stay in contact before then, or just meet in Orlando?
Let's just meet in Orlando. I got a ton of things going on with my staffing here.
Okay.
But I definitely want to get up and running so that by late, we are ready to run by end of December, so we're ready for the new year.
Well, yeah, you want to do that. We kind of get busy that time of the year, too, for the new year. We can handle it. We've got a great staff, great trainers and everything like that. But I would recommend you do it really no later than November, due to the fact you got to get everything up and going in November, kind of test run it some in December with your clientele or internal patients, and then get ready to roll in January.
Okay.
But you're not, I'm not going to train you in the system and you're going to start seeing patients in 2 days after you sign up. No, this is a business. We got to get everything in place for you.
Yeah.
So, and get everybody trained correctly. Okay. Well, we'll do that, and then what I'll do is I'll talk to you in Orlando, and then we'll sit down a time, and I can bring the agreement there, or what I can do is I can send that to you, review it. If you got any questions, and we can go over any questions you might have on it when we're there, and I'll have some.
Okay, perfect. That sounds great. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go through it too.
Okay, we'll do that. Write down any concerns or questions on there, because it is a few pages on there. I'm no attorney, but I'll ask them all. I'll answer them to as much as I can on them and so forth, and some stuff is standard on there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll go over all of that then. All right, well, I'll do that. I'll send that stuff off to you today. Other than the dispensing rules and the compounding may take me. You'll probably get that by next week, because I gotta get out to the companies for that information.
Perfect. Not a problem.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time, Doc.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and I love to work with you, and looking forward to it. And you have fun, and I'll see you in Orlando.
Okay, will do. Have a fantastic day.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Talk to you later.